Hello everybody, this is Hybrid Miranda and welcome to Follower Critique Wednesday, or honestly just follower critiques. In this I go through about more like 3 or 4 people who sent me in critiques, and, well, not critiques, they send me in their art so that I can critique it. And we have 4 people to go through today. There is about 1 hour for me to do this, so let's get on and go. I will have the chat window up so I can see what you guys are asking. And I've done this before. Rosebuds! I believe we're actually critiquing your stuff today. If your alternative name is Here's Some Art. I forget. There's somebody who has a nickname Here's Some Art. And I'm pretty sure it's you. I forget. Okay. Oh boy, I am out of sorts today. I got to design a sexy dinosaur man. Hello everybody, we have Silently Confused in here, the dumb frog, Rosebuds, Aileen Torres, is that how you pronounce it? Emily, Bread, and Yaria. Awesome, we have a few people in here. Okay. So, I'm going to get started. I am critiquing actually somebody who's been a student of mine in real life, back when the world was okay and normal and good. So we're going to get to this. First critique goes to Elven Spirit. Now, after this is all done, I can't tell if those are gunshots or fireworks. Or somebody banging my car. I'd be mad at that. Okay. So before the entire beautiful virus happened that we now have controlling our lives, I had actual live art classes, and this was one of my students. And I did a critique for her ages and ages and ages ago, but it's been long enough that I feel okay doing another critique for her. I need to get some actual pen color that looks good so I can draw all over it and break her heart. I mean, the colors I'm choosing are going along with this character. I just don't know which one to choose. Will black work? My opacity's at 100%. Supposedly. Is my flow at 100%? Is my opacity on there at 100%? Who knows? There's just too many things to keep track of. Okay, let's find an actual brush that will work for our purposes today. And let's get going. Are you going to function for me, buddy? There's a slight opacity problem here, and I do not know where it's coming from. My technology's just not been treating me well today at all. I suppose I should just get used to it. Like, I was doing work for my boss on my iPad Pro, and the Apple Pencil just kept disconnecting today. Okay, let's just use this color. Okay, so first off, immaculate color palette you got going here. Like, these all work together so well. This soft champagne pink, and then you got this deep grayish teal. It's more like a deep stormy blue color. It's very washed out, slatish. The bright pop of white. Like, your color palette here works so gosh dilly darn good. I'm starting to turn into a mom with my vocabulary, good gracious. Wait, that's one color. Is that the same color? What is happening with my colors? Why is it getting darker? I have it on overlay. Oh, okay. I understand now. I understand why Photoshop is not functioning properly. It's because my brush setting was incorrect. Okay, anyhow. So just an immaculate color palette you have going on here. Congratulations. These work really well. I would have loved to see like a pop of gold in there somewhere. But generally, great color palette. You really improved on your lines and the attitude of your characters. The next step I want you to do is start paying a little bit more attention to your anatomy. And let me show you what I mean by that. So we got these foldy arms here, but where the hickety heck are the hands going? I want you to start drawing hands. Dun dun dun! Yes, you should start drawing hands. So I don't know what name this character is. You didn't name your files. But imagine your arms. I want you to restructure, like focus on restructuring. If you could begin taking like pictures of yourself, like literally what I want you to do is if you need to, just, can I pop this up so you guys can see down a bit? I can. What I want you to start doing, your drawings are good, you're getting in better. Each time I see you draw something, you're improving. What I want you to start doing, though, since you're getting to the level where you should be paying a little bit more attention to your anatomy, take reference pictures of yourself. For this one, all you have to do is put your phone on the timer and, you know, cross your arms and beep, 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 do the countdown, ba-dang, you know? Make sure that you get a reference photo. What the heck? Did I just get a request for a sponsorship? I think I just got a request for a sponsorship. What the frick? Okay, we'll go into that later. That's new. Eh? I don't know. And, okay, anyhow. So, yeah, so what I want you to do, these arms should be coming down a lot more. And if you look at when you cross your arms, this wrist and this wrist are hiding in the nooks of the crook of the arm over here. So you actually want to lift this arm up a little bit more, fold it over, and it should be going in more like that, and the wrist will be coming down, because technically your hand's going to be here, here, and here, and you're going to have all these little fingers, you know, hanging out in this area. So you have to, what I want you to start doing, it's called drawing through your figure. You want to just make sure that whenever you draw all parts of the anatomy, and it'll lead to clarity in your actual figure itself. Like, your head shape here is awesome. You got this really great defined shadow. I might have added some shadow in here, like right there. See, that's improving it already. Is he biting his lip, you dirty, dirty child? Okay, but just make sure your light sources are consistent. I really like the bright white highlight. It goes with the hair. There would not be a highlight right over here, though, because that arm is overlaying the other arm. So you're actually looking at a pretty consistent shadow there. Same thing with underneath here. You didn't need to put your shadows down there. And just clean up the edges of your lines a bit. Since this fabric is falling over that fabric, the light direction is coming from here. Since that fabric is overfalling that fabric, you're going to get a shadow overlaying that way, you know, and then it might slight dark over there. So you are definitely improving. Just start drawing through your figures so that, yeah, and also over here, you would get some fingers wrapping over this way. See, look at that. Your fingers popping up on this side. I didn't realize that my camera was overlaying. I'm sorry, guys. I completely forgot to make it smaller. You guys didn't see the edits I was doing at all. And I dropped my Wacom pen. Ha! Okay, got it. Shush. I see you guys in the comments section. I forgot completely. I'm sorry. Okay, there we go. Pain, embarrassment, scorn, suffering. Well, now I got myself into a precarious position. There is no way for me to get out of this without, like, completely wrecking my chair. No. Okay, this is definitely a maneuver. This is a maneuver. I need to put my hat back on. Okay, we're good. Let's get back to it. I'm in a silly mood tonight. And I got to pop out my e-boy hair over here now. Okay. So, to reiterate what I was talking about there, since you didn't see it since I was covering up, I put a shadow right over here because you didn't have a shadow there before. Your shadow was inexistent, and there's a giant crook in your face here, and shadow usually overlays that. So just make sure to study up on your anatomy a bit. So yeah, there would be a big shadow falling right over there. And everything else is pretty consistent. You got it right. What I also did is, you know, made sure that your hands were popping out in the right directions. I put a shadow over here because there would not be a highlight over there. Like, I'll show you just by taking it off. Yeah, you need to put your shadow underneath the fabric. Okay, so I don't want to spend too much I know I've critiqued you before and you've literally had me as an art teacher, so let's jump on to the other ones quickly. Oh no! Oh no! Gore warning here. Legolas is not in a good mood. Where are his knees going? Okay, also, full warning, this is literally a student that I've had for years at this point, like an art student, so I'm allowed to make fun of her a tiny bit. Where are his legs going? Okay, what I mean by that is one knee is all the way down here and the other knee is all the way up here. I know you might have been trying to get the perspective, and it kind of works, but what I would have done instead is put this one and then the leg going back, kind of in perspective like that, instead of dropping the knee all the way down. Also, make sure to keep track of your shoulders. His arm is coming out this way, and then it's going that way, so it looks like Legolas not only has some arrows in his body, but he also has a broken arm, so just make sure that your anatomy is straight. That's basically my only critique at this stage, is there are online model systems that you can pose with to take reference for, so I would use online model pose at this point, or literally do the pose by yourself to make sure that your anatomy is correct and it's coming from the correct angles. You got this really cool smoky effect happening here. You have an eye for color. You're doing fine with color. I don't really have much of a critique for that. At the moment, I think the biggest thing you want to focus on is just making sure your anatomy and proportions are correct, and just use reference. This one is super pretty. I wanted to go over this one quickly before we end. Can I clear layer here? Nope, I forgot. That is one of the problems with Photoshop. You cannot clear layers. Okay, this one is very pretty. It has this moody... it looks like you put a filter over it, but it has a beautiful mood to it. I really like how you showed that the shoulders are curving here. Like, you did a great job with that. And yeah, how the shoulder is starting and the arm is coming down. Like, this is a great pose. You did a good job on this pose. I would have put a darker shadow, or at least a sharper shadow, under the butt to show where this character is contacting the ground. Because right now it feels a little bit just like they're floating. So just slightly sharper shadows under things. Don't be afraid to do high contrast. High contrast is a marvelous thing. Do not fear the contrast, my child. And yeah, I just just push your contrast a teeny bit more. Even though this has a filter over it, it could use a tiny bit more contrast, because right now all the colors are just a tiny bit muddled. Like, see, just adding that gold right there, super duper fast, made it pop, pulled it together just that quickly. So just be a little bit more bold with your experimentation of color, but you're still improving. I'm critiquing you harshly because I know you, Legolas, but you are doing excellently. Keep on it. Okay, next person we have is Gabby. I have no idea what their socials are. They did not give them to me. So let's turn these pictures on. Okay, Gabby is a traditional... Actually, before I jump into the next one, let me just check out all of the pictures. Not pictures, sorry. Comments. I like frogs. Congratulations, frogs are cool. Goes to Vulpix is asking, hi, are you taking critiques? If so, how do we submit? At the moment, I can't take critiques because I'm quite literally like 80 behind, and I can only do 4 per episode, so it's going to take half a year to get through all the critiques that I need to finish. So I'm going to tell people when the critiques are open again. After I clear the list, I'll have a YouTube video saying, hey, if you want to submit a critique, boop, here's my email down below. But at the moment, I'm just not at a capacity that I can take any more in. Okay. Yeah, I see the entire comments. Well, how long will it take for her to realize her webcam is big and it's hard to see what she's doing? Oh, well, the answer was like 3 minutes. Mighty Vanna is asking, I don't want to seem pushy, but could you do my whale picture soon? You have to wait until everybody else's is done. They're in chronological order. And Mighty Vanna, are you... Do we talk on Instagram? I don't know. Did you do the like the trifold with the 3 levels of whale, or like there's a city on top and a city on bottom? Because if that's you, then I was planning on doing some from Instagram soon. Clockwork system. Okay, I get you. Yeah, the next batch of people was the people I asked to come over from Instagram. Did you ever send that to me over email? Because if you did, it's logged in a giant thing of emails right now. Okay, back to this one though. So, I'm not very, I think this looks like acrylic. Here, let me jump through these a bit. I need to regain my psychological positioning. Okay, this is actually the one I wanted to talk about first. This is a really cute concept. And my heater just turned on. I completely forgot it was on. This is a really cute concept. I'm just going to turn the volume down so it's a little bit more difficult to hear that. Tell me if I just turned down the volume a little bit too much. Is this character supposed to be looking through a mirror? That's my question. The one thing that's popping out to me is that I can see that she's like stitching her heart or something like that. And then there's this one piece of stitching that's coming into her mouth, but then it gets completely lost over here. It comes out and there's nothing to drive the contrast between her hair color and the stitching color itself. I might have taken a lighter shade of brown and finished it off that way to create that contrast that's necessary. So yeah, so just make sure that it's easy to read certain things. Lots of the things, I know you're using it looks like what, colored pencil. A lot of your pieces in here have a similar tonality. Let's see what happens when I pop it into black and white mode. I'm gonna have to rasterize it first. Rasterize, more like Rastafarian. I don't know why I said that. Okay, I wonder if rasterize and Rastafarian have a similar word root. Okay, so if we pop this into black and white, you can see that a lot of your color tones are extremely similar. And if I turn this off, you can see how right over here your string was getting completely lost. This isn't something that, I mean, if you have a phone, occasionally just take a picture of your piece of art and use the black and white filter, and you can check up on how your contrast is. Ah, shoot, not what I meant to do. Considering the bright highlight you have over here, I would have also put some bright highlights in here too, just to show that it's just to show that it's fluid and it has high reflectivity. It's a cute picture. I'm not gonna lie. It's nice, and there's definitely a certain emotion coming through, and it's really creepy. It reminds me of Coraline. It reminds me a lot of Coraline. I also really like how you're trying to take these oh god, what are they called? I really, really, really like how you were trying to take the puzzle pieces and wrap it around her neck. Now, this is a little bit of a tricky thing to do. What I would recommend is if you can draw a tube, like let's just draw this off to the side. Imagine her neck is a cylinder, kind of like this. So if you can draw a simple cylinder, you should be able to do this. Now line the cylinder kind of like that. And now you can line it like this. The line should get bigger towards the center and then smaller as they go out towards the sides. And now you have wrapped a grid around the cylinder, and then you just have to take that and pretend that it's on her neck. Now, why would we be doing this? We're doing this because once you have these little grid square patterns, you can just imagine that they're puzzle pieces. Well, this is very difficult to see, but you know, like imagine that they're puzzle pieces and put the puzzle pieces in like this. And then as they get closer to the side, it'll be easier to wrap them in perspective so it actually feels like they're wrapping around her skin. Because right now it's kind of, I can see you kind of tried for it, but at the moment it's kind of on a flat grid-like pattern, like this. Instead of wrapping around her neck, like that. So just use that cylinder trick to wrap textures around 3D objects, especially like necks and arms and legs, anything with actual physical cylindrical shape to it. Yeah, but you have the shading on the eye. That eye looks great. You got nice shading on the lips. Your colors are solid. Like this is good color consistency. That's hard to do sometimes, is get good color consistency. So I think this is the strongest piece you've sent me. And let's take a quick peek at the other two. Okay, this is definitely Brutus and Pixie. That's super duper cute. One thing I would do, if you're going to make a nice completed piece like this, do not test your colors out up here. That is a huge no-no, and it really detracts from the rest of the picture. Because this picture of Pixie right here, this is so cute. This is an extremely well done kitty. Like, look at that. That's adorable. You got the direction of the fur right, the cute little expression. Super duper adorable. I think this is one of your strongest pieces of art in the trio you sent to me. But then you have this up here. It really detracts from your art. So always have a test strip right next to you. If you want to do any testing, do it on that strip of paper instead of on the picture itself. But yeah, Pixie looks adorable. 100% great job on that. Brutus is a teeny bit wonky. Still really good. Your eye looks nice. The way, the attention and the detailing you did on Pixie, if you could have kind of extended these color blocks a little bit to blend a little bit better, and see how dark this part of his eye is, like the outline around his eye. If you could have applied the same darkness to his mouth, it would have made the mouth stand out a little bit more, and the same thing to the nose. Just get those really dark pops out. But yeah, your Pixie, the Pixie over here is really cute. Like, good job on that. And the last piece you sent me was this one. The reason I stalled on it is I don't usually critique stuff like this, so I'll see what I can, no, not duplicate. So let me see what I can do with it. Where did Vanna go? Okay, Mighty Vanna, when it comes to your whale art, I was gonna do, you're one of the only people who actually sent in art. You know, I might be able to, okay, if I have room at the end of this critique, because I have to end it at like around 8 to 8:15. Yeah, we're gonna push it. I'm gonna end it at 8:15. If I have time at the end of this one, I'll grab your whale piece. I don't know when you sent it though. If you can find me the date at which you sent that email exactly, then it'll be a lot easier for me to find it. So once you find the date, just drop it in the comments and I'll try to fit your whale piece into the end of this critique. For anybody viewing who's like, hey, wait, why is she getting, priority? It's because she sent me a piece like a year ago and I was kind of commenting here and there, but I never did a full critique. Because the first time I ever tried critiques was on TikTok, and it blew up so much that I could not control the amount of things that people were giving me. And she was one of the first people to actually send in things ever, so I do kind of want to prioritize her because it's been a long time. Then anyhow, this piece. I really like the color combo. It's a very classic color combo. It really speaks to Japanese culture, the red and the white. So it really feels, also stylistically, it feels like one of the more simple pieces. You know, you have this kind of reminds me of the Death Star, I'm sorry. Like when it's halfway into construction. One thing I would have done is that this curve over here is on a tangent with this line of branch coming this way. I would have either extended these branches down, or lifted them up so that they're not in line with the silhouette of the red sun or moon or whatever it is here. Maybe take a little bit more care next time with making your sakura leaves. Because you have like that, there's some nice detailing in here. And then you have these, you know, these blotches all over the place. Maybe make a nicer stamp, like a very specific stamp, and take a teeny bit more care in how you lay them down. And with these guys over here, these bright flowers, maybe a slightly lighter tone of brightness. But this is a decent start. I usually, yeah, this is kind of out of my comfort zone for critiquing, so it's mostly just small technique things. But I think these other two were a lot stronger, especially the little pixie over here is a very, very well done cartoon piece. In general, please keep going. I especially like this one. This one just needs a few mild adjustments and it'll be really, really nice. So really good job. Really good job. Again, I don't know who this artist was. She just sent in her work as Gabby. So I don't know who Gabby is. Maybe it's a really, really young person who doesn't want to post their art online yet. So that's what I'm presuming. And I don't want to, you know, do a breach of privacy for that. So until they comment and maybe comment their socials down in the comment section after I send this live stream to them, we don't know who they are. Okay, here we go. Here's some art. This is really old stuff for you. I'm just going to make a separate layer on top of each one of these. Okie dokie. Let's go. Well, first off, I really like solid color. I don't usually do solid color in my art because I am a slut for detail, but I like it when I see other people doing it. I don't know what it is about these squiggly shapes, but they actually really add to... This looks like a Native American or somebody, you know, especially because of the, you know, the facial shape and the skin tone. This feels like a native person. And there's something about these kind of tangled, woodsy... I think they're supposed to be like these vines over here. There's something about these tangled, woodsy texture in the back that actually does not detract from the art. And since they're a more muted yellowish tone than the skin, like this color over here has a lot more yellow than this color over here, it actually stands out enough that it makes sense. So good job on that. I might have taken this background and either darkened it a bit or put higher contrast into your character over here. The reason I would have done that is because if we make this background a little bit darker, the slightly lighter hair tone and the slightly lighter skin tone would pop more and drive more focus into your character's face. You have really nice line art. This is good. And I really enjoy, actually, I enjoy these thorns here. Go see if, what's her name? Commented yet. Yeah. Rose, this is really, really old art for you. That you sent this ages ago, like several months. God. Like your stuff is a lot better these days, but you know, it'll help other people if they can see, you know, stuff like this. But yeah, so considering the lack of detail, I honestly wouldn't add anything like hair texture over here. It's a very specific style. There is not really a focal point in here though. The brightest piece, the brightest point in here is the eye. What I might have done to make a focal point is accentuated the red in here. Like if you added a more intense red in certain parts, and then the bright red against the white of the eye would draw a little bit more attention to that point right there. Like look at it without that bit of red, and now look at it with that red. With that slightly, it's basically the highest saturation thing you have. So that's a good way to drive focal point. And also that focal point leads to the eye itself. And the eye on a human face is a lot of the time a focal point. Let's look at your next one. This is busy. So I'm not, okay, I have seen this background pattern before and I think it works, but it's a little bit too busy. what brush color. I'm just going to choose black as the brush color because this picture is busy enough that it's not going to appreciate other things. Okay. So tonality wise, you're looking at a very similar tone palette, which is why it's a teeny bit busy. You're also looking at very similar shapes. Like this background is taking too much attention away from your foreground. In your in this picture, it was okay because this is a nice solid color and, you know, simple detailing. But for this guy, it's just busy, 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 and then more busy, 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 busy. So it's taking away from your human. The thing that draws my eyes the most is probably the blue, because it's the only cool color in here, and then these guys, because there's such a highly detailed texture. Now, I'll show you what I mean. If we go over here and we turn... Actually, I need to rasterize it first. Give me a sec. If we go over here and we turn it into black and white, look how similar your grays are. There's really nothing in here driving high contrast. Your eye tone is the brightest, and then your line art is the darkest. So what I would do if I were you is take this, and if you want your main character to stand out more, I would have either darkened or lightened the background. You need some sort of contrast to drive your focal point. Or maybe instead of making these flowers red, make them blue, make them green, something. Actually, the complementary to this hair color over here would be somewhere in the purple-blue range. So I might have made those flowers a completely different color, but there's a little bit too much going on in this picture. Let's see what happens when we pop up the contrast. Whoa! Yeah, it's also a little bit muted color-wise. So if we pop up the contrast, I'm just seeing what happened. What? It's a leaf boy! Ah! Okay. So let's popping up the saturation. So if we pop up the saturation, it actually looks a little bit better. Let's see what happens conceptually if we take this, and I'm just gonna do a quick dirty ugly outline of ya boy here, so I can prove a point. There's two things I'm going to do. The first thing I'm going to do is increase saturation on your guy character here, and then decrease the saturation on the background. Because you can technically make all of these details work, you just have to have enough contrast between them. Okay, so first thing we're going to do is take care of this. Image, adjustment, hue and saturation. I'm going to drop down the lightness a little bit, and I'm going to drop down the saturation a little bit. Already he is popping. And now select inverse. Let's make it even more extreme. Adjustments, brightness, contrast. No. We need image, adjustments, hue and saturation. And now I'm going to pop up the saturation on your character. And maybe tone the... No, I'm not going to tone your hue. That would be insensitive of me. Yeah, and we're gonna keep the lightness where it is. We might play with the levels though. Image, adjustment. Where are my levels? There are my levels. Ooh, I kind of like how it looks when it gets darker. So what I'm doing right now is I'm really pushing the contrast of your character. I know it's changing your colors a bit, maybe in a way you don't want, but increasing the intensity of the character over the background is pushing your focal point. And one last thing I'm going to... It's just a blatant experiment. Select, inverse, image, adjustments, hue, saturation. Look what happens when you turn that blue. Look what happens when you add that complementary. He pops. He really, really comes forward. And you're not losing the flower and rose motif, because now he has the roses on him, but they're blue roses in the background, which really, really, really forces... This is, I think, this is a split complementary, I think, which is kind of like if you look at your color wheel, you make a very, very long triangle and you kind of move it around. But this lets your character stand out, and it also matches the blue of his eye. So you're not losing your rose motif, and you're making your character pop. And maybe one more. I don't want to run out of time. I don't want to run out of time. Wait, is this the Minecraft character that like Poodwaddle is making a giant cosplay of right now? This is a very simple piece of art. I don't know if I have much comments for it because your other two pieces I think were stronger. This is very designerly. This would make a really, really, really great, like a profile picture, you know, on Discord or something. You know, somebody else did a fan art of this character too. I don't even know what the character is or what they're about. I just know they're like the pig man and they kill orphans or something. I am so out of the loop with this kind of stuff. Okay. When it comes to color, this is actually one of your strongest pieces, surprisingly. Your first piece, I do believe, is your strongest piece. Like, this is, despite this needing to pop out a little bit more, this is, I think, really nice. But, yeah, like, that would make a great, like, Discord profile picture. His name is Technoblade? Okay, cool. Glad to know that. I don't really have that many comments for this because this one, okay, maybe I would have, maybe the only thing I can see that I would have changed is I would have wrapped his cloak over his shoulders. Meaning, just like that. That's all you gotta do. Just make sure it's wrapping, make sure the fabric is wrapping the correct way. Just like that. We're gonna grab this, color it in. Bada bing, bada boom. Now it doesn't look like two giant kidneys or lungs that are spread across his collarbone. It actually looks a little bit more like a cloak. Bam. Okay. So just very, very small adjustment there. There's really not much I would do to this. It has a very strong artistic style. Maybe over here. I don't know if his hair, okay, I can't really actually say anything about this because I don't know if if his hair is coming down like this and it's simply, you know, or if like it's supposed to be wrapping over in his ear is supposed to come over the top. That may be, I don't know the character. You guys do. For me, that's a tiny bit. Like, I would have maybe added a few, you know, lines of hair coming this way just to make it a little bit stronger, to tell that it's, you know, not just overlapping his ear. No, but this is, yeah, this is just one of the pieces I can't really say much about because it's very simple and it's clean and well done. But yeah, considering this is your old art, it's still really good art though. Like, it's fine. So that was Here's Some Art. The person who's been commenting in the comments section, Rosebuds, that's actually the same person. Okay, the last person is another person who was not dropping their social media for me. So all we know is that their name is Annika. And let's use this one first. Okay, no cap, I thought this was Michael Jackson at first. Just because of the face. I know it's probably not Michael Jackson. This, okay, Annika, is it? Wait, that's chest hair. Is this supposed to be, oh wait, there we go. Annika Neriat? Nercat? It's either Neriat or Nercat. Let me look at their other picture and see if I can't find their, well, that doesn't help anything. Okay, I think it's Annika Nercat. So let me write that down. Okay, at Annika _Nercat. Awesome. Glad I have that. I hate presenting art when I don't know who the person is. Okie dokes. Let's see. Annika was asking to me, she wants to learn, or I'm sorry, I'm going to presume you're she. They want to learn more about how to make the piece realistic. They're going for semi-realism. The colors, okay, I'm going to go over your positives because you have a really nice color palette here. This blue goes very, very well with the deep red and the skin tone and the purple. So your color palette is awesome. That was not a good mouth pop. It's a really good color palette. For semi-realism, the first thing I want you to pay attention to, because you're a pretty good artist, like, don't get me wrong, these are nice pieces of art. So I'm going to be nitpicky and I'm going to guide you on the right path. Well, I hope I will. I will guide you down the street of drugs and needles and scary creatures rustling in the bushes. Okay, what I want you to do... What was that? I have no idea why I just said that, but it came out and I apologize. Okay. Okay, so what I would do for this is I want you to start taking reference. I don't know if you looked at a reference for this. The shoes are really, really well done. Like, those are really nice shoes. Congrats. Are those Doc Martens? My sister's obsessed with Doc Martens. The hands, for instance, and the shoulders. It looks like the hips are... Okay, I need a brighter green. Looks like the hips are sitting this way and the shoulders are sitting this way. You would need to emphasize that through the body, because this is what's called a contrapposo posture, when the shoulders and the hips are at odds with each other, like this. See, they're on an angle that can probably be traced all the way like that. And usually the head will be tilting to the side, and then you're going to have an activated leg, which is the one that has the higher hip on it. The activated leg comes like this. I'm sorry, it's a bright green. It's kind of hard to see. And then the deactivated leg comes out and it's relaxed. So all the weight is actually on the activated leg, which is the one that has the higher hip. So this is our activated leg for contrapposo. If you look here, I'm just going to do a quick amount of nitpicking. If you look over here, this length over here to the neck is way longer than that length. So you kind of need to shift the body over a bit to make it look a little bit more accurate. And let me grab my green again. Rosebud's saying Miranda got possessed for a second. Kind of. Okay. But yeah, so you need to shift the head over a teeny bit. Either that or make that shoulder longer. Although I believe this is Michael Jackson, I think. I don't know. It looks Michael Jackson-esque with the hairy chest. Sorry, I don't know who it is. But yeah. So this is your activated leg over here, since you're using a contrapposo. So what I would have done in this situation, because it looks a little bit stiff, put this leg down more over here, because you need to control the body weight. The body weight is coming from here all... No. Computer, function for me. Okay, I need to hold down shift. Your body weight's coming directly down over here, from this particular position. So take that body weight, make sure that your leg is over here, because your deactivated leg will be coming out with a bend in it, and then kind of just sitting like that. So just a small adjustment, a small shift in the posture will make this seem a lot more realistic. And I know you're talking about rendering semi-realistically, but one of the most important things in, drawing something realistic is making sure its posture is realistic. Boletes. That's a kind of mushroom. Boletes rule. That's a really fun name. Boletes rule is saying, I love the way the fabric drapes. That's true. The fabric, you've done a very good job on the fabric. Like, this is nice. You got your entire like weird wavy snake pattern here with the lines coming upwards. That's a good fabric. Yeah, so before you start jumping into realistic rendering, just make sure your anatomy is correct and the pose is balanced. Like, same thing with this little, with your arm over here. Wait a moment. Boletes rule, are you my dad? There are very few people in the world that would name themselves Boletes rule. I'm sus. Okay. Yeah, but the thing with the arm over here, you're looking at a long length of arm right there. I need to come up with better things. Okay, you're coming up with a long length of arm over here, which is more accurate for the size of the body. And then you have this arm over here, which is a lot shorter. If you wanted to make that look like it was foreshortened... If you want to make it look like it's foreshortened, I would have angled it back a little bit more, put some crease lines coming down this way to show that it's being forced that way, and then had it coming out and sticking into the pocket. And that would also really emphasize the movement of the body. that kind of zoom, zoom, zoom that we're getting here, that nice S-curve. But in general, this is a very, very nice piece. I like the expression. It's a very clean piece. That's kind of what I have to say. It has a really nice render quality to it. And like your rendering in general is great. Like, look at this hair. Audience, pay attention. Look at that hair. That is beautiful hair. Like, congratulations. Okay, yeah, I know who Belit's rule is. Good God. Okay. Yeah, but your rendering on the hair is done super well. I wouldn't worry too much about the hair. Maybe slightly brighter highlights, but only slightly, because like deep black hair, because I'm presuming this is Michael Jackson. Deep black hair, if you highlight it too much, then it's going to look way too shiny. But this is readable. This is really nice, the way it's rendered. I would have taken this eyeball, because if you look at this eye right over here, come on, give me a color I can work with. If you look at this eyeball right over here, that's kind of in line with the face. Like that. Come on, you. Function for me. But this eye is way, way, way up above that. So if you shift that eye, just literally just grab it in your program with the shadow layers and just shift it down. Just to make sure it's on line with the other lines. So your rendering at the moment is really good. Maybe push your shadows a little bit more. I just mostly want you to concentrate a bit more on your posturing and use some reference. Reference is the artist's best friend when it comes to realism. Okay, let's look at your next one. Good job, by the way. I know I'm highly critical, but usually you can tell the better a piece is, the more critical I get, because I'm like, I need to hyperspeed my improvements. So that's usually what's happening. Okay. Not a vibe! Okay. This is a really, really nice one. First thing I want to mention when it comes to semi-realism or any composition in general, and you've probably, if you watch the rest of this critique, you'll hear me saying this a lot, having similar tones is a little bit of a bad idea. Let's take this, rasterize it, and I am going to go to black and white. Now see all these different grays? You do have an almost white tone right over here in the eyes, and you do have a very deep gray, almost black tone in her hair. But that is the highest point of contrast right over here. That's the focal point of your picture. If you close your eyes for a few seconds, then you open it, suddenly your eyes just bounce right up here because it's the darkest point. It's sucking all of the visual attention to this area right here, which, you know, is advantageous because it's your character's face. It's where you want it to go. But if you look at everything else, it's just a muddle of different shades of gray. And that's what I want, whoopsie-doos, that's what I want you to pay attention to. Yeah, so what I would have done over here is to increase the contrast for your character. Let me get my selection tool. What I would have done is I would have added a darker blue down here. So I'm going to grab these just like that. And once it reaches over here, you can kind of cut off because now your character's skin tone, especially the mermaid's skin tone, is darker than the water surrounding it. Hey, let me zoom, please let me zoom out of this picture. Apparently we can't zoom. Photoshop's having a tantrum. Okay, and right there I'd say. As an artist, you are allowed to adjust the gradients. Why did you do that? Okay, let's get a little bit picky here. As an artist, you are allowed to adjust the gradients to drive a better outline. Outline is one of those silly art words that you really want to know about. Because right now your outline's getting a tiny bit lost in certain areas. Am I supposed to add that too? Am I supposed to add that too? Yes, there we go. And I think I'm supposed to subtract this. Yes! Ah, that heater's gonna drive me crazy one day. I'm just too lazy to actually get up. I'll just turn down my volume. Okay. So we got ourselves the footsies and the tail and everything. Kinda... Come on, you. Come on. There we go. I did the wrong thing. Bear with me, dear audience. I hate it when I do this. What happens is that I forget which part is selected and which part is not selected, and I will select the incorrect piece. Okay, so let me zip up. Well, first I need to do that, but let me create a new layer. Let us get the brush tool, sample this color, the nice dark color down here. Now I'm going to drop it down to a darker tone and get a nice big brush size, and I'm going to just lay in some darker tones and then allow it to lift up a bit as it goes up. That looks super duper sloppy. Okay, image, adjustments, no wait, filter, blur, Gaussian blur. Yeah. Okay, better. Select, deselect. Okay. What I'm trying to do here is I'm trying to increase the contrast of the fins of your character down here and the ocean in the background, because before it was getting a little bit lost. I'm not so sure I did this correctly though. Let's see what happens when I put it on multiply. That's better. Okay. And decrease it a teeny bit. Awesome. Yeah. So I think what I've noticed in your art, your anatomy's pretty darn good. Like the hair, your hair rendering is honestly awesome. Your anatomy is pretty darn good. Just, you know, use a reference a little bit more often and you're going to be A+. But your shadowing is super duper soft. Like look at the scales on the mermaid's tail here. Come here, you. Like the scaling over here is so well done. That's lovely tiny little, you know, glittery scaling details. That's really pretty. And then you have the way that the fabric is draping looks awesome. Like right over here, that's great. And the way that the hair is flowing, that is great. But you seem to be scared of shadow. Especially underwater. I can see you starting to do this. This is good. I can see that there's some blue tones over here. The blue tones is what you want to look for. That's good. But you didn't apply it with confidence to the rest of the picture. Because you know, your sunlight is coming from the top, right? So we got our sunlight. Bum. Actually, that's a lamp. Okay, we got our sunlight coming from the top, you know, light streaming down into the water. And then the shadow color is what your background color is going to be. So you would want to take this blue and put it in all the rest of the shadows. I can see you were trying to do this. It's extremely, extremely subtle. I just want you to punch it up a bit. Duplicate this canvas, duplicate this picture, and just experiment with it. And don't be afraid of it. And on the same note, I would have added brighter highlights. You're going for semi-realism. You can't be afraid of your highlights. You gotta really just get out there, you know. Why is it doing this? Oh, it's because it's multiply. Aha. Yeah, get out there, add nice bright, you know, highlights. That's not even that bright. Yeah, don't be afraid of your highlights and your shadows, because they are what define in semi-realism your character and their shape and their proportions, everything. So I want you to focus mainly on being more bold, because your general technique is extremely good. You're doing really well. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of all my artists on this channel. I want you to be bold and believe in yourself. Experiment. Don't worry about making a mistake, making a piece of bad art. The more important thing is that you experiment and you focus on trying things that are new that will improve your art. Like I'm gonna go in here for that highlight. Actually, no. Why not add? Well, let's add some purple for the highlight tone up here. There is a lot of purple in that hair tone, plus the purple in here adds a lot to the rest of the piece. But just adding those highlights right there, and you can also add a rim light right along here. Rim light's just like when it's edging. Yeah, adding these highlights and down here on the tail to define the tail a bit more at this depth, along with your little scalings right here, really just push the contrast and make it seem like a little bit more of a complete picture. But you're doing really well. So my suggestions for your advancements in semi-realism, which is what you asked for, use references so your anatomy is a little bit more on top of it, and just start experimenting. Make the canvas that you want to make, you know, make the picture how you want to, then duplicate it and start going wild. Start using different brushes, start really pushing the shadows and highlights, and I think you're going to do great. Come back to me in like a few months. Like, try experimenting and, you know, do a few more pieces, because I want to see where we're going to take this. Okie dokes, I actually believe we have time to do the whale picture if I can find it. So let me go through my massive inbox, gmail.com. I'm going to need a new, come on, there. Not John Lacquaby. Okay, give me a hot second. I'm trying to find a very particular image. Spider Ketchup? Somebody's name in here is Spider Ketchup. Art critique, portraits, TikTok, portraits, art critique. Okay, I'm sorry, you don't understand what my inbox looks like, guys. That is so many pictures. Somebody literally sent in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Somebody sent in 8 pictures. What part of 1 to 3 do people not understand? Okay, right now we are going through an adventure. I'm trying to find the email of the person who wanted me to critique their picture. I'll just put this halfway on here. Nope, halfway on here. So we're not showing anybody's names or anything. Come here, you. Come here, you. Come here, you. Which one am I streaming from? I'm streaming from this one. Let's pop it into here. Because this person... This person wants me to critique their stuff, and I would love to critique their stuff. Oh wait, I need to shift this over a little bit more. I would love to critique their stuff, but the problem is I don't know. I can't find their stuff. They want me to do it, but they didn't reply in the chat about what time they sent this email. Oh my god, where are they? Oh no, I can't find it. Where did that person go? Did they ever reply? Can somebody go through the comment section, help me with this? I am looking for something by Mighty Vanna. I was hoping that she would reply telling me when she sent that email, and she did not, which makes this a lot more difficult for me. Oh my god. No, she didn't reply. That makes this a lot more difficult for me. No, Lofa, I don't think they just left. They left a while ago when I said that I couldn't get to them until next week, but I would try, and I think they heard me say that I was going to try. No, I think they left before I said that I was going to try. But I don't see their email anywhere. Yep. Becky said it the best. Becky said it the best. Oof. Why do people do that? Well, Clockwork, I am sorry you didn't reply into my chat, and I have no idea which piece was yours, or you didn't tell me when that email was sent, so I'm gonna have to do it next week, because I don't want to, for the benefit of the viewers right now and the people who are going to be viewing in the future, it would be unfair of me to go through and dig through when you left early in the chat and didn't help me find the email. If you want, you can resend it, so it's easier for me to find if you do end up watching this. If not, I will dig through and I'll find it for next week. Saramis is asking, didn't you say something about LG when you answered them? What does LG mean? Here, there's not much to see more on here, so. Wait a moment. Where's OBS Studio? Oh, Instagram. Yeah. No, they sent it to me over email because they were communicating with me over email a long time ago. Oh well, I kind of wish they would have been more patient, but there's nothing I can do about it. So those were the 4 people that we got to critique this time. Thank you guys for sending your stuff in. I still have a crap ton of other ones to go through, and I suspect that I'll be opening up for critiques again in maybe half a year. I know that sounds like a lot, but I do have 80 critiques to go through, or 20 weeks. 20 weeks of critiques. That's how long it's going to take for me to go through everybody's critiques. It's a lot. Lots of people send me in stuff. It's just it's a big oof. Yeah. I feel kind of bad now because the person left and I'm mildly irritated because I was going to do theirs, but now they're not helping me find the email amongst my, 250 inbox. Okay. For all of you who just joined recently, because I see that we have some new people in the comment section, I do this every Wednesday at... Oh, God. At 7 p.m. Eastern. So if you stick around at 7 p.m. Eastern, you can see me doing these live critiques. I used to make videos of me doing critiques, but it just took so long to edit that I was like, okay, we're going to do this live or else I'm going to go insane. I see a picture, Awkward Bean is asking, oh wait, are there things you won't critique like gore? If it's like a heavy amount of gore, I don't think I'll critique it. If the guts are flying everywhere, not going to happen. But if it's like soft gore, then that's okay. I can do soft gore. I'll do things of mild sexual nature. I can't do nudity, unfortunately, thanks to YouTube. Or you know what I can do? If somebody sends me a nude drawing, I can just do the little black censorship box over the parts that will get me in trouble. I would love to be able to show nude studies, and people doing nude studies and stuff here, but unfortunately YouTube is super duper strict about that kind of stuff, so I just can't. Hi is saying that's 4 p.m. Western, right? Yes, it is 4 p.m. Western. Yeah. If there's I guess if people want to send me gore, I can show it. I'll just have to block out certain parts, literally just so I don't get in trouble with YouTube, because YouTube's pretty strict with that. Despite the fact that, you can play Doom and they literally rip the spines out of people, they seem to get angry at smaller channels for the same kind of infraction, but I'm not going to go into that. Okay, so I will see you guys next week. Thank you for tuning in. Remember, 7 p.m. Eastern. Tomorrow is going to be Art Block Friday. No, not Art Block Friday. Tomorrow is Art Talk Thursday, but what I think I'm going to do is I am literally just going to... I'm literally just going to do another tutorial because I didn't get to do the tutorial that I wanted for on Tuesday. Ali J is asking, is this just art critique? Yes, Wednesdays are just art critique. If you want to see the channel, God, what is it called? The channel schedule, it is down in the description. Yeah, no, Ali, only Sundays. Sundays are the only days I do open lessons. Okay, everybody, thanks for tuning in. I will see you tomorrow in the pre-recorded video. As per usual, just make sure to drink your water, get your sleep, believe in yourself, and chase your dreams. Becky's saying make sure to hydrate. Yep, hydrate or dihydrate, baby. Okay, see you guys.